Everyone, welcome to this video, and this is a very important video of resume creation. Let's directly jump into this. Watch till the end. Mention all the key takeaways in the comments below. I'm reading all those comments, okay? So before we start, there is a template in the resources section which you can refer because this is a template. I'm going to refer the whole section, the whole video of this. Okay, so I'm going to refer this complete template and it is in the resources. So keep handy, or maybe you can open this Word file, and while you are listening to this video completely. Okay, so let me directly jump into the mind map, and here it is. Okay. So the first thing, we are going to learn the rules of resume creation. And I always say that it's very important for you, all of you, to learn this art of resume, how to make a resume, right? So the first thing is start. So ask these questions before even drafting this resume, before even thinking about drafting or framing any sentence in your resume. The two important questions is that what does it take your resume to get noticed? So resume is the first thing. It's you on paper. I always say that, which means that whosoever is reading your resume, he should be giving you call back after reading that those lines or reading your paper. Okay, so it should give a solid impression to the person who is the reader of this document, that what what do they want to see in your resume to select you for interview. These are the two questions you should be asking yourself. What does it takes your resume to get noticed, and what do they want to see in your resume to select you for interview? So once you do that, write it down the answers in your notepad, and caution, do not add any irrelevant information in your resume while you're learning this. So this is the most important thing before we even start to make and to learn the rules of creation of the resume. Okay. So the first thing in the resume template is header. So header is nothing but your name, which can be in the bold font or a bigger font than the usual font. And then comes the contact information, then comes the phone number, then comes the email ID, and then comes the LinkedIn ID. And then if you have been writing a personal blog or website, if you have such thing, then you can mention it below your LinkedIn URL. Now, many a times I see that the email IDs are non-professional. So in your resume, write your professional email ID. I see email IDs like sweet pari 123 at gmail.com, or gorgeous or sweetie or something like that. So do not use those casual words in your email ID. Another thing I want to tell you is that the LinkedIn URL you are mentioning in your resume should be optimized. So I'll share the complete process on how to optimize your LinkedIn URL in my LinkedIn videos itself. So you can see that video and go to that video and check it out how to do that. Next is no complete address is required. So many a times I see that a lot of people write complete address of theirs, or they sometimes also write their date of birth, their marital status, and all that. These all information are irrelevant for a recruiter to see, okay, in your resume. So we are not going to add any irrelevant information in the resume. So that's the header part. I hope it's clear. Now, just below the header and above the career or the profile summary is headline. Headline is basically we insert to give a solid impression to to the person who's reading the resume, that you are clear on the designation you are applying for. Please, please make note of that. This designation is the designation you are applying for. So if you are focusing on two roles or very similar roles, okay, then what you can do is you can mention one role, maybe global HRBP, then a vertical bar, and then maybe you can mention about HRBP operations or something like that. So if you are targeting one or two roles, so you can write both of those roles by putting a vertical bar between that. Okay. So you need to mention this headline. This will, again, this is a placing of the right keyword in your resume so that you start getting interview calls for that designation. Okay, next comes the summary. So the summary here is, I'm talking about the career summary, or some people say that professional profile, or some people say that professional summary. Now I will tell you the why behind everything, why we are writing what we are writing. And before that, I want to mention to you all is that many a times I see in the resume people writing about their career objective. Now career objective is absolutely obsolete. So do not mention your career objective. Second thing is that what to use when. So the thing is that there are three, four terms which are mostly used in the resume, and all are correct, by the way. Professional profile, professional summary, career summary, or career profile. So the first one being the professional profile. So if you are somebody who is having 0 to 2 years of experience, or you are a fresher, or you are a career gapper of having more than 2 years of career gap, then you should be using the word professional profile there. Okay. Next is professional summary. So if you have 3 to 7 years of experience, that is early to mid, then you should be using the words called professional summary. And if you are somebody who's having 7 to 20 years of career or experience, then you should be using career summary. And if you are applying for India or outside India roles, then you should be using the career profile. And if you are from 5 to 15 years of experience, then career profile is the apt term which should be used. Now, in the professional summary or in the career profile, you should be announcing your brand, which means that I always talk about in my day two, in my day three, that you have to build your brand, you have to build your visibility, and your brand, your unique brand should be placed in the career summary. Okay. And the most important thing for all of you is to understand that you need to add the career comeback statement, which we learned in the day one. Okay. It's very easy for the hiring managers and for the recruiters to quickly connect their needs and how you can fulfill them by reading this summary. So this summary is very, very important. And for experience, having a career gap, please mention that you should be having maximum 3 bullets in your professional summary, wherein the bullet number one is the statement that introduce who you are professionally. Bullet number two should be highlighting a specific strength or experience with respect to the job you are applying for. And bullet number three should be highlighting a specific strength, again, with the experience, but adding a little matrix to that, the numbers, the outcomes. So, how you are impacting a business. Either you are saving their cost or increasing their revenue directly or indirectly. So, you should be mentioning that numbers here. And again, you should be tying back to your career comeback statement as well, so that we do not want people to guess what we did that during that gap. So, okay, that makes sense, type MS in the comments below. And this is all about the summary. Now, let's jump directly to the area of expertise. So, just below the professional summary is your area of expertise, and some people say that skills section. And it is with respect to the JD. So, whatever the JD of the role you are applying for, you have to dig it out. You have to take the JD and use the AI tool and extract the skills from there and self check. Now, what you have to do is, if you possess 80% of those, do not fake it. Be honest, be authentic to what you are reading on those skills, and then apply for the job. So, if you possess 80% of those, then apply for the job, and do not stuff skills you don't have. So, recruiters catch it in the interviews. So, do not stuff skills and do not fake it. Be authentic yourself. And in the core area of expertise, you should be mentioning both hard skills and soft skills. And whatever you are mentioning about the hard skills, about the skill section, you make sure that you repeat it thrice in your overall resume. Okay. and the ratio of hard skills versus soft skills. So the important thing is that if you are somebody from an early career, 0 to 5 years, then you have to make it 70% hard skills and 30% soft skills. And why I say so? Because when you are in your early career, people want to know what you bring to the table. That means your technical skills should be very, very strong. Okay, so that is why the ratio is 70 to 30%. Then, if we come to mid career, that is 5 to 12 years, the ratio becomes 60% hard skills and 40% soft skills. And for senior people or senior leadership, 12 plus years of experience, you should be 40% hard skills and 60% soft skills, because by this time you have got so much of experience. So now you have to manage and be a leader. So if you are a leader, you are on in a strategic role. So you should know that your soft skills matter a lot at this point of time. Okay. And for career gappers, so for career gappers, keep it 50-50, guys. 50% hard skills and 50% soft skills. Okay. Okay, so I think area of expertise is quite clear now, and take a lot of notes from this mind map. And next come just below the area of expertise, the section which is called the professional experience. So professional experience is when to use. So if you are a fresher, you only have internships or projects to show, so you can use that. And if you are experienced, you can mention all the jobs, but make sure that the latest coming on the top. So the chronologically, it should be correct from latest to the earliest. Okay. And if you have not done any internship, do one. Your resume must show the applied learning or how you have applied your hard skills in the office scenario. Okay. So the structure. Now coming back to the structure. So in the professional experience, you should be opening with a statement. Opening with a statement. So once you mention about the company name and the number of the timeline when you worked with that company, now either you will be mentioning about the company. For example, about the company, about the size of the company, about the industry of the company, and about the market presence of that company. And you have to mention just below that that why you were hired means the purpose of your role. Okay, you should be opening with a statement about the company and then why you were hired. So, hired for or use of such action verbs should be recruited for, or then mention about what you were recruited for. Okay. So, next bullet, bullets, it has to be coming in the bullets. And why I say so, because in ATS, it remember the bullets and should be concise, no essay writing in your resume, just concise bullets and very much streamlined, each bullet with a unique action verb, and make sure that you are not repeating the action verbs. There are so many action verbs. I've placed those in the PDF in the resume section itself so that you can take out those templates and use that. So start each bullet with a unique action verb, no repeat. And I can share you certain action verbs like spearheaded, recruited, enhance, achieved, partner, directed, led, optimized, streamlined, delivered, accelerated. All these action verbs you can use. And the very most important powerful formula for making these four bullets very powerful and impactful is that start with the action verb, then talking about the accomplishment in your first bullet, in the second bullet, quantify it, and in the third bullet, give the effect, and in the fourth bullet, give the result. Okay, so you may note down this series or this formula. Absolutely, it will help you. And maximum four bullets if you have done any role, and if you have done only one role in your previous journey, then maximum six bullets. Okay. Now the rules here is that only include the relevant experience. So whatever JD you are looking at, if that in the JD and your experience, there is some mismatch, just remove those mismatched words from there or such experience, and make it more narrative towards that role itself. So it's all about the storytelling in your resume. So sometimes you might have done some HR operations role, but you want that to be told in a way that you change the narratives to HRBP so that it more looks like that you have done more of HRBP and less of operations, then you can do that. And how you can do that? I can tell you that you can go to chat and chat GPT or any AI tool, and you just ask them, draft my experience in the form of this formula. So the formula I've given it to you here. Okay. Action, verb, accomplishment, quantify, effect, and result, and add numbers and only include relevant experience, and you can throw the JD here that as well, and then you draft it. Chat will give you a draft example, or it will give you certain examples or options, so that will help you draft your resume better. Okay. Now the next rule is no nouns or pronouns, so you should not be using I, me, my responsibility was. So it should be always starting with the action verb. Okay. And when I talk about here the formula, I mention about the quantify. So quantify is nothing but the numbers. So the recruiters love numbers. So you should be writing your numbers, maybe percentage if you reduce some wastage, so percentage of cost savings, or if you have increased the revenue, so increase revenue by this percentage, or minimize the cost, 100% compliance, or anything. So, which is more like a numbers. Okay. And you may mention about the timelines that I've done this in very shorter time. So maybe you can mention those times. And if you have led teams, to mention the number of people you have led, you have managed directly. Okay. So avoid repetition of the verbs. Do not repeat the verbs. It's very cumbersome or very difficult for the recruiter to make out to read the resume with having a lot of repetitions of the action verbs. Okay, so that's the structure. And coming to the professional experience for career gappers, so always include your past roles and again the latest being on the top. And if the gap is less than 1 year, I would say that no need to mention or highlight it separately. But if the gap is 2 years to 10 years, then you have to address it cut smartly in your career break projects or transition kind of experience line, where you are mentioning about what you did during that gap. So you may mention about you if you have volunteered, if you had freelance, if you have done any pro bono, if you have done any caregiving, if you have done any kind of a certifications and achieved any transferable skills or any other hard skills, or those stuffs has to be mentioned in your professional experience, telling the recruiter directly that what you did during that gap, so that he or she doesn't make any guesses of what you did during that period. Okay. So the rules of gappers is, if you have more than 1 year of experience, please do not leave this as blank. Do not repeat the action verbs. Do not overload with irrelevant pre-gap tasks. And by this statement, I want to tell you is that many a times we write in the resume about we did that, we managed the files or physical files or stuff which is irrelevant in today's time. Please understand that whatever is irrelevant in today's time should not be mentioned, because what happens is when we have a career gap, we feel that self doubt, and in those questioning ourselves in the back of our mind, we start writing more, and more of the duties and more of the work we have done, which actually doesn't help at all. Okay. It actually doesn't help, it actually destroys. So it will give you more harm. So do not add the irrelevant pre-gap task. Make sure that you remember those two questions we started this session with. Okay, so show the growth during that gap. So whatever way you can show the growth, that is important, maybe by upskilling or freelancing or highlighting about the transferable skills, the leadership, or if you have managed any project or whatever. So always what you have to do is you have to connect the past role and the gap learnings, and that is equal to the target role. Okay. So that is what you have to do here. And this is about the professional experience. Now, talking about the education. Education, do not put it at the top. Now, why I say so? If you put the education on the top, after 5 or 10 years of your work, which means that you are insecure about your experience, about your previous experiences, and you are still in the student role, student hat. Okay, remove that hat and bring that hat of how you are so work focused and how you're going to give value to the organization, because you have to give value to the organization. At the same time, you have to value yourself. That's a big statement. So value yourself first. Do not bring education if you have done a lot of work, because if you have done certain kind of experience, you have done certain kind of work, which may be 5 to 10 years or more than that, then education doesn't really matter, because education you have done certain past. And today, as per the World Economic Forum report as well, skills matter more than the education. Okay, so keep it at the bottom. And if you are even writing your degrees and college and year, just mention the degree and the college and the year. That's it. And do not overload with a lot of education. Many a times I see a lot of resumes overloading with so much of education. And trust me, education where you have done MBA, BCom, MBA, and then you have done certain BEd. So if you are mentioning all of those education, which might not be relevant for the role you are applying for, the recruiter will get confused. So do not overload with so much of education. Only write whatever it is relevant. And old degrees like MBA, BCom, just go away with that. I mean, you can mention, but do not make it highlight it, or bring it on the top. You need not you need to mention only those which are relevant. Okay, so how many times we just do not want to give away or keep our ego aside for the degrees we have earned during the time or when we were studying. So those times have gone now. Okay. So if you have got a new certification after a gap, and many times I see this question in my community, that if you have got a new certification after the gap, which is that relevant for the new role? No, I would say that blend it in your career break section. So you have mentioned a career break section on your professional experience. So you can blend that over there, or you need to mention those new skills in the area of expertise. Okay, because the recruiter is going to look at your resume in F section or Z section. Okay. And the top one, the top part, if it is convincing, then he might go below and read. So now education and achievements and everything is now at the bottom of your resume. So if you have learned certain new skill which is quite relevant for the new job you are applying for, mention it at the top somewhere in your career comeback statement, or your area of skills, or core area of expertise, and then even in the education part also. Okay. Now talking about the achievements and the awards. So this section is very relevant. The purpose of this section is to differentiate yourself beyond the duties and the rules, and to show the recognition, excellence, and extra credibility. So if somebody is reading this section of yours, which is talking about the achievements and the awards, he or she is immediately getting that trust in you, or the credibility factor becomes increases. Okay, so how it is done that, because you are mentioning about the achievements, and it's not about the relay race you won at the school time or in the college. Okay, so I want only career relevant achievements, to highlight things not already covered in the professional experience. So here in this section, you have to mention your recognition, which is not mentioned anywhere else in your resume. So do not repeat what is already in the experience section. Many a times people repeat that, but do not repeat that. And there is no chronological required in this. While you can list the highest one, highest value one at the first, and keep it 3 to 5 bullets, and do not make an essay again here. Okay. Now the sources of achievements. So you will say, Neha, from where I will dig out these achievements? We have done a lot in our work time, but we have never noted down what we achieved or what we have done during that time. So what you can do is you can just take out pen and paper and start writing or start observing what you have done in your previous roles. Or maybe you can just see what kind of awards you have got, best employee award, or anything which is star performer award or project recognition award. All those awards at workplace matters. So think that all the awards, star performer, and even for if you are in IT, then some project recognition is also an award. And education awards like academic distinction, scholarship, medals also matters here. And in during your internship, if you have earned any award, any certificate, or any exceptional feedback from a client or from a company or from your boss, even in the email, then you have to mention it very strategically in this section. Now coming to the examples, I want to show you certain examples. If you want to write certain achievements and awards, you can write that recognized as star performer of the year at this company for driving engagement programs that improve retention by 15%. And for education, you might write that I'm a gold medalist. I did MBA, Bangalore University, and I was a gold medalist there or a top performer there. Okay. So, which gives the credibility to the people who are reading that this person has a great IQ. Okay. Now, coming to the certifications. Certifications only mention if that is relevant for the job. Special projects and trainings, whether you have conducted or you have attended, you need to mention here. And affiliation and standing, if you hold certain position in your college or any community, then you need to mention this in your affiliation and standing. And there is an extra section for presentation, workshop, and publications. Sometimes people who have done PhD and done certain research and they have published that research paper somewhere on the web, so you can mention that along with the hyperlink here in this section. And the most important thing I want to tell you I can only tell you to the community here. I'm more inclined towards is that testimonial. So what you can do is you can make a small box if you have received any testimonial, maybe through LinkedIn or maybe through emails of your ex-boss where they have mentioned your excellence. So put it in a small box and in the italics form, you need to mention it in your resume. That will give you edge over the competitors in a small box. Okay. Okay, so this is what the resume making is. It is an art, and I want everyone to today start working on your resume after hearing all these rules and how you should be making that. Okay, see you in the next video.